Hello and welcome to my dining table. This is where I do my regular weekly moment. It feels like a place of connection for me. People sit around this table whom I love, and by extension, the truth is I want to share a bit of that love with you across the distance as you watch this, whether you're watching it live or you are watching it sometime later on as a recording. The truth is we are all connected. Each of us is infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift we already are. That's the truth that I try to convey to you each time we get together. And in our preciousness, our unconditional lovedness, we belong together. We are connected, and even beyond our common humanity, we are connected. Now, I started thinking about this. It's been kind of dancing with me for a number of years as I think about how we're connected to each other. But it really struck home to me. I was on a trip last month to a friend's memorial gathering, and I needed a snack, so I went to a local grocery store, Hannaford. I was in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, and I came across what I consider to be a healthy snack, some cashews, halves and pieces. And I just picked it up and started chewing on some delicious cashews when I read here in the back, product of India, Ghana, Indonesia, and Vietnam. Now, we all know that lots of the things that we purchase in the store are not made locally. And even if they're made in the United States is about 3,000 miles across. It's a long distance from distance to distance. And if it's made in Hawaii, wow, it's way over there. Up in Alaska, way up there. Like it's up and over, whatever. And this got me thinking about how connected we are, that the product I was eating came from parts of Asia and a part of Africa, and that we shared that together, that we got to share in this reality, these cashews, because these farmers in different places had grown these, and they had been brought together in this little package that I was eating. Sometimes we forget. We live in a society, particularly if you're watching this from the United States, where we, and anywhere in the West really, we tend to think of ourselves as little islands. We might be part of island chains, but we think of ourselves as islands standing on our own, and yet from the beginning of humanity, we have known a sense of connection that is deeper than just the fact that we happen to be human beings. It runs deeper than the wonderful diversity in skin colors and diversity in religions and diversity in all other kinds of nationalities, you name it. All those diversities, beyond those diversities, we are connected. We ought to celebrate the diversity, but also recognize deep down there's sort of a soul-spirit connection between us all. And when we lose sight of that, we forget how important we are in terms of connection. Now, we feel it slightly, and sometimes in the negative, when we watching or reading the news and someone goes on another mass shooting spree. And we feel the connection, the loss, the sense of sadness. But after a time, we let that be dulled in us. We let that be dulled in us because it just happens way too often. And then something big, as if shooting people isn't big, happens like Syria and Turkey. And there is a sense of a deep and abiding loss, more than 5,000 lives at last count that I saw that are lost. And that sense of pain is a sense of connection. it helps us recognize when we feel the pain. You don't feel pain if you don't love, if you don't care. You don't feel it. But if you begin to feel it, kind of a little inkling in your soul deep down within, you begin to recognize once again, yes, we are connected to each other. Sometimes I try to do things all by myself. I'm reminded that I don't do things all by myself. I'm married to Linda, and Linda is a lovely person, and we share responsibilities in the kitchen and cooking and washing dishes and the like, and we share that, and it's a wonderful mutuality. I don't do this alone. Earlier today, the church where I work is getting a new sign. Some of the information is outdated. It was time to get a new sign, and that's a cool thing. But the people who are installing it aren't available to come and pick it up. The volunteers aren't available to come and get it. And so I called someone. I didn't want to call them though. I wanted to do it, somehow wanted to carry it myself as if I am the church. And by wanting to do it myself without sharing it with someone else, I was robbing someone else as the opportunity to serve in their own way. So I made a call to Bill Hannon, and Bill was happy to meet the sign people when they delivered the sign and make sure that it gets put away in a good spot and is ready to be installed. We aren't willing to ask each other for help. We aren't willing to remember that in our connectedness we carry each other. In part, I think that prayer is really about naming the needs of the world, the heaviness of the world, the things for which we're thankful, and the release, the mutual carrying of that burden. When we all carry it together, the burden is lighter. It is lighter. I think that's part of what we're invited to do. So when you think that you're disconnected, that you're all alone in the world, and some people feel that way. It's very easy to feel isolated, especially during the recent COVID pandemic that still rages, and people I know are sick all around us. People felt isolated and alone and began to live in that place. It's no wonder there was the rise in the magnification of psychological struggles for our children and for others in society, because that isolation just drove home how connected we really are. How careful we had to be with one another and needed to be with one another because of that sense of being connected. So today, just be thankful for the connections you have. Not just because you're a community, but because at the subtlest level, at a deeper level within, we are all connected. Spirit connects us. Our souls, the deepest sense of soul emerges from that, the spiritual ripples. And we are connected to each other in that way. When you read the things in your life that cause you concern, remember that's because you are connected, and love is the bond. Love is that essence that connects us to one another, that spirit that makes us part of one another. We are truly connected, not just when we get cashews from multiple countries in the store, but we are connected because of something deep that we can't even always explain. So claim that for yourself today. Be thankful for the people that have been a part of your life, that are a part of your life, for the world in which we live, and for the Spirit that connects us all. And remember, you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift you already are. Don't forget that. You are a gift, precious and loved. And I hope you'll have a good week. And as you carry the sadness of many others in loss and in grief, and the joy of others in celebrations, may you find peace and a groundedness in your own preciousness and gift. And until the next time, Hope you'll have a great week.